so long ago, way back in probably September, October, we learned how to solve inequalities, and you guys have done it at 7th and 8th grade, so it was familiar to you, but we spent quite a bit of time just making sure we were all really comfortable with it. And what we found as we were solving inequalities was it's basically the same thing as solving equations, except there's one rule. If you divide by a negative number, you have to flip the inequality sign. And so we need to remember that as we're going through and solving these inequalities. Your homework on this will have 10 problems. Every homework assignment except for number 1 has 10 problems. Number 1 had 8. And they're just solving inequalities here. So we'll do a few examples. You might want to pull out a blank piece of paper and copy these examples down as we go through them. So if you're doing that, go ahead and just pause the video for a moment as you're copying the problems down. Number 1, we have this inequality, and we need to solve it for k, and then graph the solution. So to solve for k is just like solving equations. Your first step is to distribute, except there's nothing to distribute. The second step is to combine like terms. So we need to combine these two together. Negative 3 plus 4 is 1. So what that means is this becomes a 1k. 1k is just the same thing as k. So this says negative 3 is greater than or equal to k. We need to flip that so that the variable is on the left side. It's not required to flip it so the variable is on the left side, but it makes it a lot easier to graph if it is. So I'm going to switch this around just by flipping this around. And if I flip those two, I have to flip the inequality sign as well. So it becomes k is less than or equal to negative 3. Okay, we've solved the inequality. Now we need to graph it. So a couple things you need to remember when graphing. If it says less than or greater than, you use an open dot. If it says less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, you use a closed dot on it. And then also, if it says, another thing, less than or equal to, you shade to the left, because the arrows are pointing to the left. If it says greater than or equal to, you shade the line to the right. So this one says k is less than or equal to negative 3. So I'm going to put a closed dot on negative 3. We know it's a closed dot on negative 3 because it is an equals to sign right here. And then it is less than, that arrow is pointing to the left, so we shade to the left. Okay, number 2, same steps. We need to combine our like terms. So on this one, we've got these two as like terms. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. Negative 13 is greater than negative 2k minus 1. We're trying to get k by itself, so I want to add 1 over. Negative 12 is greater than negative 2k. Divide by negative 2k, so we get 6 is less than k. The reason it's now less than, so I took this greater than sign and I switched it to a less than sign, is because we did this. We divided by a negative number. We divided by this negative 2. So we had to flip this inequality sign. It says k is less than or equal to 6. That is your answer, but we're going to do the same thing here that we did on that previous problem. Switch all 3 of those because we want k on the left side. So rather than saying that that's our final answer, we're going to switch it around and make it k is greater than 6. So we solved it. Now let's graph it. To graph, we need an open or closed dot. Yep, open dot on 6. And we're going to shade to the right because it says to. arrow's pointing to the right. Greater than means numbers bigger than 6. And that's what the numbers to the right are. Okay, just a couple more examples. Number 3. I don't know if we need number 3. We'll go through it. If you don't need it, you can skip ahead. You might want to pay attention for number 4, though. It's a little different. So number 3, I'm going to start by subtracting the 5, because we want to get the r by itself. 112 is less than negative 7r. We need to do 112 divided by negative 7. And you'll want to grab your calculator out. I'll give you like 20 seconds to get that typed in. Check it out. $112 divided by negative 7 is negative 16. So negative 16 is greater than r. Oh, look, I changed that inequality sign again because we have to. We divided by a negative sign right here. But we're going to flip this around again. So I'm going to do the switcheroo on all of these things. So we get r is less than negative 16. It says the exact same thing. Negative 16 is bigger than r, means the same thing as r is smaller than negative 16. Graph it by putting an open dot on negative 16 and shade to the left. Okay, one more problem like this, number 4. Let me clear a little bit of this stuff out here. So number 4, I want to do this one with you because there is a couple of them similar to this on the homework where you've got to divide. Same thing as number 3. Your first step is to get rid of that lonely one, the negative 6, by adding. So we get 6 is greater than n over 8. And then you just need to multiply by 8. So you get 48 is greater than n. We don't like n on the left or on the right side of the inequality. So let's flip it around, do the switcheroo with all 3 of those things. N is less than 48. Uh-oh. I messed up. Let's try this again. Do you see my mistake? I messed up right from the beginning. Negative 5 plus 6 is not 6. It's 1. So 1 is bigger than n over 8 multiplied by 8. 8 is bigger than n is less than 8. Okay, so open dot on 8, shade to the left. Sorry about that mistake there. Hopefully that didn't mess anything guys up. Okay, we also have compound inequalities, and this word compound, it simply means you have 2 inequalities in one. And we spent some time on this. You guys didn't love it a ton. You just have a couple problems on the homework like this. So hopefully they're not too bad. Again, there is a link for tutorials, for extra help, for live tutors. You can email me. So if you are confused on these problems on the homework, let me know or get the help you need. Number 5 has 2 inequality signs. So I'm going to split this into 2 problems. Negative 11 is less than or equal to negative 5 plus p. Negative 5 plus p is less than or equal to 2. So I've split it into these 2 problems because that's what it is. It's saying this is greater than negative 11 and it's less than 2. So I want to do both of those things for this compound inequality. Add the 5 over. Notice that's what you do as the first step for both of these. And we get p is greater than or equal to 6. P is greater than or equal to 6. And p is less than or equal to 7. I'm going to combine those 2. Oh, that didn't work so well. 6 is less than or equal to p. is going to combine with this one, and that is our answer. P is bigger than 6 or equal to 6, smaller than 7 or equal to 7. So we can graph that, double check and make sure I didn't mess up anywhere like that previous problem. 7, negative 6, right here. Sorry, this should be negative 6, that makes more sense. Okay. It's going to be closed dots because it is equal to, and P is in the middle, so I'm going to shade in between, or it's saying P is bigger than negative 6. So right here it says P is bigger than negative 6, smaller than 7, and that's why we shaded in the middle. This one's already split up for us by this or sign. So we have 2 inequalities to solve in one problem. They're nice inequalities though. First one, you get to divide by 10. So n is smaller than negative 4. This one we get to subtract 3. N is less than or equal to negative 1. Okay, I'm not going to put those two together. Oh man, guys, I'm just messing up all over the place, sorry. Greater than or equal to 2, greater than or equal to negative 1. I'm not going to put these two together because this one's saying shade this way, this one's saying shade this way. So they're shading away from each other, which means we'll have 2 separate answers on one problem. We're going to say less than negative 4 or greater than negative 1. Okay, sorry about my mistakes on that one. Hopefully they didn't mess you up. You should be good to work on this homework assignment now.